I'm going to show you as quickly as I can how to set up a wire parameters to so one object can control the movement of another object. What we want is this gear, when it's turned, to be moving this gear in the opposite direction. So what I did is I started by, just to show you how I created this shape. I started with a star shape and increased the number of points, and then converted that star to an editable spline so I could get down into the vertex mode. Enlarge this. And then selected all the vertexes and went over into, here we are, the chamfer. Turn that on with all the vertexes selected, and then just chamfered them to create this kind of gear shape, and then added an extrude modifier, and if you want to, you put holes in it and things like that for the axle things. But we're not going to be playing with that anymore. I'm just going to delete it, and here's our two gears that were created. I'll go back here, and here they are in the perspective view, showing them with the extrusion. And I name this, let's name this the left gear. Name this one the right gear, or rote gear, whatever. And in order to get this one to control this one, we go into animation, and we're going to get a wire parameters, and click on wire parameters, and we're on this left gear. I want the transform, the rotation transform on the Y rotation. Sometimes you have to figure out which rotation axis you need to rotate on, but I know in this case it's the Y rotation. And then it gives you a little, I don't know if you can see it, the little line coming from this gear, and I'm going to go over and click on the right gear, or the rote gear, and it opens up another transform, and I want it to, the rotation of the left one, to affect the Y rotation of the right gear. And it gives you this window. You can see the left gear has a Y rotation, and the rote gear, or right gear, has the Y rotation selected. And I can link those together now as a two-way connection, as the right gear controlling the left gear, or from the left gear controlling the right. I think I'll just go two-way. And once you've done that, it puts those down here in the bottom, and you click connect. And I'll just move this out of the way for a second, and I'll get my rotate tool, and here's my Y rotation axis, and you can see they're rotating, but they're rotating in the same direction. They're both going counterclockwise, or they're both going clockwise. To fix that, I want the Y rotation over here of the left gear to make a negative Y, so I'll just type in a minus over there, and then I'll update that, and I'll move this back out of the way, and now you can see they're both going correctly. The left gear is going counterclockwise, the right gear is going clockwise. You can also see my gear position. This almost always happens. They're not in the right place, they're not interlocked. So what I need to do is move this gear's rotation to a different point, but I can't just move it because you can see I made it two-way. So I need to go in to hierarchy, and you all know about the effect pivot only. I want to affect the object only, and I'll pivot this object so that the gears interlock And then I'll turn off Effect Object Only and go back over to this left gear. And on that Y rotation point, you'll see now they're interlocking and they're going perfectly. You can use this for all kinds of things, like you can have a steering wheel that's moving on a Y rotation, affect the wheels turning on an X rotation point, so the wheels turn back and forth. And all kinds of uses like that. And it's also great if you're using dummy objects to be able to have one dummy object affect the rotation of another object. So that's it.